How's everybody doing? My name is Kurt Friedrich and I'm the owner driver for CFRacing, and welcome to our 8th post-race video of the 2024 season. Before we talk about the race this weekend, first off I want to thank my family, Malou, Ty and Tad, for coming out and supporting me, especially Malou for all of her hands-on help, which we'll get into a little bit of that later on in this video. But there was some hectic work that was going on, so big thanks to Malou for all her help this weekend. With hands-on turns, some wrenches on this go-kart. I also want to thank our sponsors, Krista Murphy with Meraki Realty, brokered by Real. Krista Murphy is a real estate agent here in the Richmond area. She also does a lot with the Richmond community. Also does a lot with the service members within the Richmond community. So if anybody's interested in buying or selling a home, reach out to her. I'll put her contact information in the description below, and she'd be glad to help you with your real estate needs. I also want to thank Jim's by Denny on eBay for their continued support. Jim's by Denny on eBay is basically an online sales website on eBay. They sell cheap gemstones and cheap settings, basically for buyers who want to do-it-yourself buyers who want to put a little bit of their custom touch to their personal jewelry projects. So check out their website for anybody who's wanting to create some of their own jewelry pieces. I also want to thank Cameron Wood and his group. They were Tim Hammock. He was doing working my tires. So thanks to Tim Hammock for working my tires this weekend. Justin Collier with Black Hat Speed. They were supporting the engines that we were racing this weekend. So I want to thank them for supporting the engines. Basically, when work really started, we were able to bring our cart down into their pit area and work out of their pit. So thanks to them and their hospitality for this weekend and their help with the race weekend. And last but not least, I want to thank you guys, the fans, for continue watching these videos and your continued support throughout the season. I've had a lot of fans, a lot of friends and stuff asking me, hey, we had a break. Hey, have you raced anything? Haven't seen a video in a while. So I know you guys are watching, and I appreciate your guys' support. Follow along with our race season. So let's go ahead and start talking about the weekend. Everything pretty much started off as normal. We went out, first round of practice. Track was still pretty wet. Tim, he wouldn't let me go out on the tires that he had prepared for me this weekend because the track was too wet. He didn't want to muddy up the tires and burn some of the prep that he had in the tires out of it, which I get that. But I wanted to get out on the track and get some seat time with this Ducar engine that I've had very little seat time in. So whether the track was in bad shape or not, I wanted to get out there, and I also wanted to practice some of my footwork and my steering that was suggested for me to practice under those types of conditions. So we went out in the first round of practice, and yeah, that was basically it. Just get some seat time. No real issues other than it was really loose, but again, track was still pretty wet and in bad shape, so nothing really too serious there. The second round of practice, Tim put on his set of tires, and then from that point we were able to start kind of getting the cart to bite in a little bit more. Still not a whole lot. Nothing eventful happened in that practice other than, again, just getting some seat time. I did kind of notice something a little funny with the engine. Wasn't really sure about it. Went to Justin and said, hey, I think the engine's kind of misfiring. Not really sure. You know, the track's pretty bumpy, but you know, maybe it was just the type of gearing. Maybe I just wasn't getting within the RPM range yet, since the track was still kind of slow. So then we went to qualifying. We ended up qualifying 7th out of 7 for Ducar 375 and Ducar Pro 375. It was one qualifying session for both the classes. So 7 karts were running for the qualifying, and I qualified 7th out of the 7. But then again, the motor still, now our RPMs, we changed gears, now we got our RPM range, but the motor just still seemed like it's misfiring. It just kind of seemed like it's bucking a little bit. And again, me not knowing how it's supposed to feel, still wasn't sure if this was quite right. So, and then now Justin, when he was working out in the, not working out, he was working in the infield helping with some flagging going on. So I went around and asked a few other people, and yeah, it didn't really seem like it was right. So after qualifying during the break, I went and talked to him again, and he told me I could switch out carburetors or switch out motors, but I said, no, let's give it about 20 laps and see how it goes. So then going into the races, so the first race, Ducar 375, I felt like on the initial start I got a good launch, like I should. Again, with like I said in the pre-race video, using a bully clutch. They're supposed to be really good. Never really used them before, so my real focus was make sure I get a really good start and put this clutch to the test. I felt like I got a good start, and then on the next straightaway, before we even really got into turns, they just started pulling away. So that was the first indication to me, like, okay, this is not a handling issue. This is a motor issue. Ran the track wide open, and motor sounded a little bit better, felt a little bit better, but still kind of the same thing. And then made it about halfway through the race. Now I'm getting ready to be put a lap down, so I pulled off the track, and after the race, he came out of the infield real quick and come up and told me, he said, okay, yeah, the motor's definitely got something wrong with it. Wasn't really sure what it is, and he said, go ahead and take the engine off of his go-kart, because he withdrew from the class to help out in the infield with the flags. Withdrew from the class, so he said, go ahead and take his engine off of his go-kart, put it on mine, and we'll see what it does. So that's really where, aside from all the other help that Blue does with the tires and things like that, and helping get ready for the race and things like that, she was a big help on helping me swap out engines. My first time doing an engine swap at a track, and I was really, I didn't know how much time we had, so I was really rushing it, really trying to, but still covering all of our bases, making sure we got everything squared away and tightened down and bolted on correctly. So we got the engine swapped. Justin was able to come back out from the infield, do a quick look, make sure I got everything right like it's supposed to be. So that was a little bit of a hectic time going through that. But Blue and I, we did a really good job of getting the engine on correctly, and still had some time to spare. Got Tim's tires bolted on it. Let's go out to for the next race and see how we were going to do for the Pro Ducar 375. For this class, there are only 5 go-karts for this class, so of course we're starting last. And so I basically adjusted my driving style. Like I had 3 different driving styles in this 20-lap race. First off, I was surprised that we were keeping pace with the other 4 karts right at the initial start. And then I'm backing out of the throttle and back in it like I was running a clone engine and still keeping pace with them. So after the first few laps, I'm like, hey, I'm driving this thing like a clone. I'm not supposed to drive it like a clone engine. I'm supposed to drive it like they were telling me to drive a Ducar engine. So I adjusted my driving style again, and still trying to get comfortable at that speed. Still trying to get used to how the kart handles and drives. But I noticed one kart in front of me, I'm still keeping pace with them. So then about halfway through, I'm like, maybe I can get him. I'm kind of itching in on him. Maybe I can get him and keep driving, keep pushing. Go-kart would get up behind him and push up the track a little bit. So I really was having to work on adjusting my line and adjusting how I was driving it. And eventually was able to pull up on his inside and make the pass. And that was probably with about 6 or 7 laps to go, and then Flightman shows us five fingers, 5 laps to go, and then I'm just counting down. Like, I know I can pull away from this guy. We don't have rear view mirrors in these things, so I don't know how close he is. I know I can pull away from this guy. Let's pull away from him, and then so ended up finishing the race still ahead of him. So I ended up finishing 4th out of 5, and for us, for the type of weekend we were having, coming out of the box with something new, the guys that we were racing against, they run this class regularly. So for us to keep pace, run one of the guys down, catch them, and pass them, that's a big win for us. So pretty cool deal to finish the race 4th out of 5, run somebody down and pass them. So Yeah, pretty cool. So our goals were to finish all the races. We didn't finish all the races. One of them will be DNF because we feel like it's because of the engine issues that we were having. And learn how to do car class races. Definitely picked up some things that we can apply to future races. Our next race is going to be at Margarettsville Speedway in North Carolina next weekend, October 12th. So we hope to apply some of the things that different track, but we still hope to be able to apply some of the things that we learned this weekend to that track. So yeah, basically the weekend started normal, went a little crazy, and then finished on a high note. So pretty cool. So with that being said, again, I want to thank our sponsors, Krista Murphy with Meraki Realty, brokered by Real, and Jim's by Denny on eBay for their continued support. If anybody's interested in getting a little bit more exposure for their brand, reach out to us, let us know. We'd be glad to put a sticker on our go-kart and on our trailer for people to see. And we'd be glad to promote your business. And always remember, you're not just putting a sticker on our go-kart, you're considered a member of our team. Also, again, I want to thank Malou for filming this video and her help at the track and throughout the week. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, comment, rate, share, all of the above. And we'll see you guys in a few days for our next pre-race video. Till then, take it easy.